All right, so we're looking at doing the mathematics content knowledge test for the Asvab. The last video I just did was a really long one because there were a lot of steps, so hopefully this one won't be as bad, but we're doing 2 questions per video, total of 15 videos for this section, as well as 15 for the arithmetic knowledge test questions as well. So let's get started. So we have solve for x, and we have this problem right here. So 6 minus 3 in parentheses, as well as multiplying that times 3 minus 1 all squared, divided by 2 plus 4 over x is equal to 5. So starting off with the problem here, we're going to start off with our beginning part, which is order of operations. We do need to do the 2 evaluations of the parentheses, 6 minus 3. So 6 minus 3 is going to be 3. We're going to keep it in parentheses because there is going to be multiplication involved afterwards. But right now, the evaluation of it is done, so that part's completed. 3 minus 1 is going to be 2. Now, there's still an exponent on there. That exponent only applies just to this set of parentheses. It does not apply to that whole thing. Everything on the rest of this is going to be the same. So 2 plus 4 over x is equal to 5. So the next thing we will then do is evaluate that exponent, because again, the multiplication, this is now multiplication. It's not, there's nothing being done in parentheses there. So even though they're parentheses, you're not doing that next. So we're going to do the 2 squared, which is 2 times 2, or 4. So we're going to have 3 times 4 all over the 2 plus 4 over x equals 5. And then we want to simplify the top here. So 3 times 4, that's going to give me 12 over all of this. Now, oops, put that there. Now, we want to get rid of all that junk on the bottom, because that stuff on the bottom is what's messing me up. X is down here, so we do want to get that out. Now, the only way I can do that is to multiply by its reciprocal. If we're dividing by all of this, we need to multiply by all of this. So we're going to multiply by the whole thing, 2 plus 4 over x. And if we do that over on this side, we want to do that over here on this side. So we'll multiply by 2 plus 4 over x over here. Now, all of this is now gone. All of this is gone. Now it's just leaving me with just the 12 over there on the left-hand side, and we have to distribute over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the distribution, 5 times 2, we're going to get 10, and then we're going to distribute to over here, but the fraction, the 5 is only going to multiply times the 4, because that's all you have to do is multiply times the number, which is going to be 20 over x. So what we're going to be left with over here now is 12 is equal to 10 plus 20 over x. We want to get that 10 out of there. So it's a positive 10. Opposite operation is to subtract by 10. Those are gone, leaving me with 2 remaining. And then we have the 20 over x remaining over on that side. Now, normally, if x is in the numerator, not a big deal. We would take the division of the number and multiply it by its opposite. But here, because x is down in the denominator, we want to multiply that. This is dividing by x. So we want to do the opposite operation, which is to multiply by x, because we have to get it in the numerator. So now the x's will cancel each other out, leaving me with 1, or what's left here, which is just 20. And then over here, it's 2 times x, which is 2x. And then our last step, this is multiplication. Opposite operation is to divide by the 2. X would equal 10. Now, this is obviously a little lengthy of a question, so you might want to come back and check it if you have time. I know at the time this is going to be a situation, and you want to make sure that you have enough time to do all of your questions. So this is one of those longer types of questions. So you do want to be aware of that when you're dealing with these. And when you look at the choices to look at what you have as an answer, 10 is answer C for this question. So you know you've got it all set and you are ready to go for the next one. Now our next question is this one right here. So as you can see, you have a graph, and you are told that if the straight line of the graph is extended to the point where y is equal to 100, what will be the value of x at that point? Okay, so this requires you to know a little bit of graphing knowledge. So if I look at that graph the way it is, it's not labeled or anything like that. So what I do need to do is just identify what is happening in that graph. Where is the y-intercept? If I'm just using like coordinates, just going with 1, we'll just go with 1. So we're gonna assume these are ones. So that means that right there is a -1. So my y-intercept is gonna be a -1. And so I'm just gonna kind of put information down on my whiteboard. And then what I'm gonna do is look for that slope. So the slope on this, if I'm just using ones, I'm gonna go up 1 and then over 2. So my slope would be 1/2. So I go up 1/2 until you see that it hits right here at that point right there. So that's where I'm going with. We're trying to figure out where y would be 100. So that's gonna be what we're gonna look for. So I just put down the 2 pieces of information that I'm looking for. So we're looking for y being 100 in the end of this. I'll deal with that in a second. So we wanna put this as y equals mx plus b. So we wanna focus on that equation. And again, I don't know whether those are the numbers, but I'm gonna just assume, and we're gonna go with that so we can figure out our answer. Y-intercept is the b, so we're gonna put -1 here. Our slope is the m, so we're gonna put 1/2 x. Now, we were just told in the problem that we were looking for when y is 100. So we're gonna replace the y in here with 100. That way we can figure out what the value of x would be. So all we're gonna do is basic couple of, 2-step equation, add 1 to both sides. This is gonna leave you with 101. You add over here 1/2 x, and then we wanna get rid of that 1/2. It's being multiplied, so we wanna divide it or multiply it by its reciprocal. So we're gonna multiply both sides by 2/1, or just 2. And if you do that over there, you're gonna do that over here. And this will cancel, leaving me with just x. And then 2 times 101 would be 202 for x. And when we look at the options to choose from, you can see that 202 is choice D, and that would be your finalized answer. If you want more questions like these, find them on my YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at YouWantAlgebra. And you can find these in the Asvab practice test playlist. And don't forget to like, share, and follow me for more.